Hi there. We are on day 177 of our Through the Bible in 365 days. And today they have us reading 1 Kings 15:25 through 16:34, and then 2 Chronicles 17. Probably going to be the same story, because these two books in the Old Testament kind of mirror each other, kind of like the Proverbs do, or the Gospels. So, Israel's king Nadab, I don't know how to say that. Nadab, son of Jeroboam, became king over Israel in the second year of Judah's king Asa. He reigned over Israel 2 years. Nadab did what was evil in the Lord's sight and followed the example of his father and the sin he had caused Israel to commit. Then Baasha, son of Ahijah, of the house of Issachar, conspired against Nadab, and Baasha struck him down at Gibbethon of the Philistines when Nadab and Israel were besieging Gibbethon. In the third year of Judah's king Asa, Baasha killed Nadab and reigned in his place. When Baasha became king, he struck down the entire house of Jeroboam. Wow. He did not even leave Jeroboam any survivors, but destroyed his family according to the word of the Lord had spoken through his servant Ahijah the Shilonite. This was because Jeroboam had provoked the Lord God of Israel by the sins he had committed and had caused Israel to commit. Yeah. The rest of the events of Nadab's reign, along with all his accomplishments, are written in the historical record of Israel's kings. There was war between Asa and Baasha, king of Israel, throughout their reigns. Always fighting among themselves, huh? Israel's king Baasha. In the third year of Judah's king Asa, Baasha, son of Ahijah, became king over all Israel and reigned in Tirzah for 24 years. He did what was evil in the Lord's sight and followed the example of Jeroboam and the sin he had caused Israel to commit. Now the word of the Lord came to Jehu, son of Hananiah, against Baasha, because I raised you up from the dust and made you ruler over my people Israel. But you have walked in the way of Jeroboam and have caused my people Israel to sin, provoking me with their sins. Take note, I will sweep away Baasha and his house, and I will make your house like the house of Jeroboam, son of Nebat. He killed all of them, right? Anyone who belongs to Baasha and dies in the city, the dogs will eat. Anyone who is his and dies in the field, the birds of the sky will eat. The rest of the events of Baasha's reign, along with all his accomplishments and might, are written in the historical records of Israel's kings. Baasha rested with his fathers and was buried in Tirzah. His son Elah became king in his place through the prophet Jehu, son of Hananiah, and the word of the Lord came against Baasha and against the house, and because of all the evil he had done in the Lord's sight, provoking him with the work of his hands, and being like the house of Jeroboam, and because Baasha has struck down the house of Jeroboam. Israel king Elah. In the 26th year of Judah's king Asa, Elah, son of Baasha, became king over Israel and reigned in Tirzah 2 years. His servant Zimri, commander of half of his chariots, conspired against him while Elah was in Tirzah, getting drunk in the house of Arzah. He didn't listen to Solomon, did he? Who was in charge of the household of Tirzah. In the 27th year of Judah's king Asa, Zimri went and struck Elah down, killing him. Then Zimri became king in his place. Man. When he became king, as soon as he was seated on the throne, Zimri struck down the entire house of Baasha. He did not even leave a single male, including his kinsmen and his friends. Wow. So Zimri destroyed the entire house of Baasha according to the word of the Lord he had spoken against Baasha throughout Jehu the prophet. This happened because all the sins of Baasha and all those of his son Elah, which they committed and caused Israel to commit, provoking the Lord God of Israel, with their worthless idols. The rest of the events of Elah's reigns, along with all his accomplishments, are written in the historical record of Israel's kings. Israel's king Zimri. In the 27th year of Judah's king Asa, Zimri became king for 7 days in Tirzah. Now the troops were encamped against Gibbethon and the Philistines. When these troops heard that Zimri had not only conspired but also struck down the king, then all Israel made Omri the army commander, king over Israel, that very day in the camp. Omri, along with all Israel, marched up from Gibeon and besieged Tirzah. When Zimri saw that the city was captured, he entered the citadel of the royal palace and burned it down over himself. He died. because of the sin committed by doing what was evil in the Lord's sight and by following the example of Jeroboam and the sin caused Israel to commit. The rest of the events of Zimri's reign, along with the conspiracy that he instigated, are written in a historical record of Israel's kings. At that time, the people of Israel were divided. Half the people followed Tibni, son of Ginath, to make him king, and half followed Omri. However, the people who followed Omri proved stronger than those who followed Tibni, son of Ginath, and Tibni died, and Omri became king. Israel, King Omri. Lots of kings, huh? Man. In the 31st year of Judah's king Asa, Omri became king over Israel and reigned 12 years. He reigned 6 years in Tirzah. Then he bought the hill of Samaria from Semir for 150 pounds of silver, and he built up the hill. Named the city he built Samaria, based on the name Shemer, the owner of the hill. Omri did what was evil in the Lord's sight. He did more evil than all who were before him. Wow. He followed the example of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, and in his sins that he caused Israel to commit, provoking the Lord God of Israel with their worthless idols. The rest of the events of Omri's reign, along with his accomplishments and the might he exercised, are written in a historic record of Israel's kings. Omri rested with his fathers and was buried in Samaria. His son Ahab became king in his place. King Ahab. Ahab, son of Omri, became king over Israel in the 38th year of Judah's king Asa. Ahab, son of Omri, reigned over Israel in Samaria 22 years, but Ahab, son of Omri, did what was evil in the Lord's sight more than all who were before him. Man, they just keep getting worse, don't they? And as if following the sin of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, were a trivial matter, he married Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians, and then proceeded to serve Baal and worship him. He set up an altar for Baal in the temple of Baal and had built in Samaria. Ahab also made an Asherah pole. God hates that. Ahab did more to provoke the Lord God of Israel than all the kings of Israel who before him. Ahab was the worst, I guess. Wow. During his reign, Hael and Bethelite built Jericho. At the cost of Abraham, his firstborn, he laid its foundation. At the cost of Segub, his youngest, he set up its gates, according to the word of the Lord he had spoken through Joshua, son of Nun. Okay, Chronicles 17. Judah's king Jehoshaphat. His son Jehoshaphat became king in his place and strengthened himself against Israel. He stationed troops in every fortified city of Judah and set garrisons in the land of Judah in the cities of Ephraim that his father Asa had captured. So Jehoshaphat is Asa's son. They didn't say that. Now the Lord was with Jehoshaphat because he walked in the former ways of his father David. He did not seek the Baals, but sought the God of his father and walked by his commands, not according to the practices of Israel. So the Lord established a kingdom in his hand. Then all Judah brought him tribute, and he had riches and honor in abundance. His mind rejoiced in the Lord's ways, and he again removed the high places of Asherah poles from Judah. Jehoshaphat's educational plan. In the 3rd year of his reign, Jehoshaphat sent his officials, Ben-Hail, Obadiah, and all those people, to teach in the cities of Judah. The Levites with them were these people. Wow, look at all those big, long names. The priest Elishama, Joram were with these Levites. They taught throughout Judah, having the book of the Lord's instruction with them. They went throughout the towns of Judah and taught the people. The terror of the Lord was on all the kingdoms of the lands that surrounded Judah, so they didn't fight against Jehoshaphat. Some of the Philistines also brought gifts of silver as tribute to Jehoshaphat, and the Arabs brought him flocks, 7,700 rams, 7,700 male goats. Jehoshaphat's military might. Jehoshaphat grew stronger and stronger. He built fortresses and storage cities in Judah and carried out great works in the towns of Judah. He had fighting men, brave warriors in Jerusalem. These are the numbers according to their ancestral families. For Judah, the commanders of thousands. Now Chronicles loves numbers. Adnah the commander, and 300,000 brave warriors with him. Next to him, Jehonan the commander, 280,000 with him. Next to him, Amasai, son of Zikri, the volunteer of the Lord, and 200,000 brave warriors with him. That's a lot, huh? From Benjamin, Elida, a brave warrior, and 200,000 with him, armed with bow and shield. Next to him, Jehozabad, and 180,000 with him, equipped for war. These were the ones who served the king, besides those he stationed in fortified cities throughout all of Judah. He goes, so out of all these kings we listed, Jehoshaphat was the only decent one. Wow. Amazing. So there you have it. That was short and sweet. What are we doing tomorrow, I wonder? Well, more of the same thing. 1 Kings 17 through 19. That's it. So, there you have it. That wasn't too painful. Lots of kings. Do I remember any of them? No. But we can go over those again at some point. I'm not into genealogy, so to speak, but I want to read the whole Bible in a year and not miss any of it. So we'll keep reading. So that was day 177, and we'll continue this right through to the end of the year. So till later on, see ya.